This is Note Taking Guide 6.1 for Mathematical Decision Making for Life. Today I have my daughter helping me make this video. Seems I'm making them from home this week. So anyways, you guys, good luck watching this. I think this will be pretty easy for you. And hope everybody's healthy and feeling well at home. So today we're talking about mean, median, mode, and range. So these are things we've talked about in class already before. But as we go throughout this chapter, we're going to take these things a little bit further. So we're just going to first of all review what those things are. So Raisan, do you know what the mean is?
It means like the average.
It is the average. That's exactly what the mean is. The mean is when we find the average of the numbers. To find the average of the numbers, what we're going to do is we're going to take our list of numbers that they give us. So that list of numbers right here. We're going to take them, we're going to add them together, and then we're going to divide by the number of numbers that there are. My son just walked in, so we're going to let him help too. So Wade, how many numbers are there?
There is 6.
There's 6 numbers there. So we're going to take the total of those numbers and then divide it by 6, and that will give us our mean or our average of those numbers. So we already know how to do that. We've done that before in class. The next one is the median. And you guys, what's the median? Do you remember?
It's the middle number.
Yeah, it's the middle number. Now, in order to find the middle number, you have to do something with the numbers before you even start. Do you guys remember what that is?
Put them alphabetically.
Yeah, alphabetically. But they're numbers, so not alphabetically. That would actually have to be from least to greatest, right? So when you're given your list of numbers like this right here, you're actually going to rearrange them so that they're in order from least to greatest so that you can find the middle number. So I like to find the middle number just by crossing off the ends. So those two ends are definitely not the middle number. And then those two ends are definitely not the middle number. Now here I come to a problem because if I cross off the next two numbers, I don't have a middle number at all. So does either of you guys remember what you do when you have two middle numbers?
You take the mean of them.
You do. You take the mean or the average of those two middle numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to add those two numbers together. 3 plus 6 is 9. And then we're going to divide by 2 because there's two numbers. So 9 divided by 2 is how much?
4.5.
4.5. So the middle number, or the median, is 4.5. When you think about that, that doesn't make too much sense. Is there even a number 4.5 on there? There's not. So how could that be the middle number? Well, that's the funny thing about the mean, is the mean actually is the average of the two middle numbers if there's two middle numbers. If there's only one middle number, it's that actual middle number. But sometimes the median will be a number that's not even in our list of numbers. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is the mode. And either of you two remember what the mode is?
The one that occurs most often.
Yeah, did you just read that right there?
No.
Oh, okay, you just remember that.
M-O, most often.
Yeah, actually that's exactly how I remember it too. M-O and M-O for most and mode helps me remember that that's what it is.
No, M for most, O for often.
Oh, most often. Okay, I get that. Okay, so what we're going to do is look for the number that occurs the most. So in that list of numbers there, is there a number that occurs more than any other number?
Yeah.
What number is that?
It's 3.
It is 3. So the mode, or the number that occurs the most, is the number 3 in that list of numbers. Nice job. Okay, the range then is the span of the number. So how are we going to figure out what our range is? Do either of you remember that?
No.
No. Okay, well, the range is the difference between the highest number and the lowest number. So you're going to look at your list of numbers here, and you're going to find your highest number. In that list of number, the highest number is 9. And what's the lowest number?
1.
1. So we're going to do 9 minus 1, which gives me 8. So the range or the span of my numbers is 8 numbers.
Because there's 8 numbers in between.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we're going to see if we can do the math on our own. So grab your calculators, you two. So this first example says find the mean, median, mode, and range for the set of numbers. Now the mean, we don't have to put those numbers in order. We can just add them the way they are. And then let's count them and see how many we're going to have to divide by. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 numbers there. So after you get those added together, you guys both check your numbers and make sure that you get the same answer. So add all of those numbers together and then divide by the number 8. And when you do that, what did you get?
You can't do it like that. You have to press enter, then do divide.
Okay.
All right. I think that it's going to be 20.875 is what we have here on our calculators. Now, one of my kids made the same mistake that you guys make all the time on your calculators, you guys. If you're going to divide by a number, you have to make sure that you either put parentheses around all of this and then divide by the number 8. Or right here, after you add those all together,
Press enter.
Press enter. Or your calculator only takes that last number and divides it by 8.
And then adds it to the rest.
And then adds it to the
So
rest.
then you get a big number.
So you got to make sure that you do that. So if you look at your mean and you're like, the mean turned out to be like 600, and then you're like, that doesn't make sense. The mean can't be 600. It has to be the average of those numbers, which means it should be somewhere in this span of numbers. Okay, so now we remember that with our calculator, so don't make that mistake again. And especially if you're using your phones for your calculators, definitely make sure you add those numbers together first, equals, and then divide by 8. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to find the median. Does anybody remember what we're going to do to find the median?
Middle.
The median is the middle number. In order to find the middle number, we have to write them from least to greatest. So from least to greatest, what number is the lowest?
16.
So we're going to start with 16, and then we're going to write 17.
18.
So 2 18s. Then 21. You can't. And another 24. And a 29. Okay. So what we have to do now is find the middle number. So I like to just cross off. I'm like, okay, that first one and that last one is not the middle number. That first one and that last one is not the middle number. First one and last one is not the middle number. So here I am again with two middle numbers. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those two numbers together. Make sure you hit enter and then divide it by 2. And when you do that, what do you get?
19.5.
19.5. So the median or middle number for this set of numbers is 19.5. Okay. Now the mode is the number that occurs the most. So looking back at our list of numbers, is there a number that occurs the most?
Well, 18 and 24 have 2.
Okay, 18 and 24 both occur twice. So the numbers 18 and 24 will both be considered our mode. Then the last one is the range. The range is the highest number, which is 29, minus the lowest number, which is 16. And when we subtract that, our answer for our range is going to be 13. Okay, next problem, same thing. So go ahead, you guys, start finding your median there. Get those numbers added together for me. When you get them added together, you're going to divide by 9 because there's 9 different numbers there. Remember, after you add those together, hit enter or equals on your calculators and then divide by 9 so that you know that your calculator is doing that work correctly. What'd you get? Not the same answers. So we're going to pause for a minute and do our math again, and then we'll be right back with the answer. All right, so we have our answer now, and our answer is going to be 52.4.
4.
And the 4 repeats, so you could put the little line over the top to show that if you wanted to. Okay, the median is the middle number. Again, in order to write the middle number, we have to write these from least to greatest. So we're just going to look for the smallest number. I think it's 38. So I'm starting with 38. Then there's a 39. 44.
47. 55.
56.
64. No, 63. 64. 66.
All right. Okay, the median is the middle number. Again, I just like to use that cross-off method, so I just like to start at the front and the back, cross them off. Front and the back, cross it off. Front and the back, cross it off. Front and the back, cross it off. This time, I have one middle number. That's nice. I love it when that happens. So our middle number or our median is 55. Okay, the mode is the number that occurred the most. What happened there, you guys?
They all have the same amount.
And the same amount is 1, right? They only occurred one time. So when that happens on the mode, you can put empty set, or you can write the word none.
All right.
Okay. Range, highest number to lowest number subtracted. So the highest number is 66. The lowest number is 38. We're going to subtract those, and when you do that, you get
28.
28. Okay, questions on that? You guys all right?
No, good.
Okay, example 2. Cassandra's Candles sold the following number of candles over the last 6 days. 25, 48, 25, 33, 57, and 50. What was the average number of candles sold each day? So count how many numbers there are there. There's 4, 5, 6 numbers. So we're going to add those together and we're going to divide by 6. So we did that, and we actually did that rather quickly this time. Nice job. So Ricehan got 39.6 repeatedly again. So just thinking about it for just a minute, if we were talking about candles here, would we say we sold 39.6 candles? Probably not. We'd probably say we sold
39.
But we'd probably round up with the 0.6, right? Wouldn't we?
You have to buy more candles.
Yeah, so we would probably round up to say 40.
Okay.
But if you did 39.6, I would keep that answer, and that would be fine. I give you credit for that, but 40 might be the correct answer there. Okay, example 3. Brian was comparison shopping for DVD players, which I'm sure you guys are all out there looking for DVD players nowadays. He decided he wanted to purchase a DVD player that was in the middle of the price ranges. The prices he was quoted included the following: $59.99, $219.99, $79.99, $84.99, $159.99, $109.99, and $35.99. Which DVD player will he select? So it said the middle of the price range. Middle is median. Normally we would write all those numbers out from lowest to highest and then find the middle number. I'm just going to cross off the lowest and the highest, if that's okay. So the lowest price
That's not the lowest.
and the highest price. So the lowest is the $35.99. What's the highest?
219.
Yeah, so we'll cross those both off. Okay, what's the next lowest price?
79. Oh, 59.
59. Okay, you can cross off the $59.99. And Wade, what's the next highest price?
Next highest price would be $159.
Okay, so cross that one off. Next lowest price?
$79.99.
And the next highest price?
109.
Okay, so the middle one is...
$84.99.
So that's just another way to do it if you don't want to take the time to write those in the order from least to greatest. Okay. So how do I know when to use mean, median, or mode? Clearly those problems told us when to, but we want to use the mean when a set of numbers have no obvious outliers. Do you guys know what an outlier is?
Like really high, really low.
Yeah, a number that's really high or really low. Really a number that's not in your set of data, right? So we're going to use the mean if we don't have outliers. We're going to use the median if we do have outliers. And then the mode is usually used when the data is not numerical. So like, what's your favorite cereal? That would be when you would want to know what the most said was.
Divide cereal.
Yeah, because you can't divide cereal. Okay. These three measures are called measures of central tendency or measures of center. It can be the mean, the median, or the mode depending on what you're trying to find. So, it says find the mean, median, and mode, and then choose the best measure of central tendency for this data. So here's our months. September, October, November, November. And here's the cells. The mean would be to add those together and divide by the number of numbers that there are. So let's just count our numbers. That's 3, 6, 9, 10. So we're going to be dividing by 10. So let's add those together real fast and divide by 10.
Got 13.
I also got 13, so we're going to go with 13 there. Okay, the median is the middle number. In order to find the middle number, we have to list those from least to greatest. The smallest number is 7.
7, 7, 7.
And there's 3 of them, so 7, 7, 7.
8.
And then 8.
And then 9.
9. 9.
2 9s.
Yep, 2 9s.
10.
10.
50.
11. 12. And a 50.
Okay, so the middle number then, I like to use that cross off method. So cross off the back, cross off the next, just keep crossing off from the back. Oh, that would be nice, because when you average 9 plus 9 and divide it by 2, what are you going to get?
9.
9. So the median or the middle number is 9. Okay, the mode is the number that occurred the most. Which number occurred the most?
7.
7. So the mode is 7. Okay, so which of these 3 measures best represents the 10 numbers? So this is kind of, the mean is the average, the median is the middle, and the mode is the one that occurred the most.
Well, like you said, like there's an outlier that 50 is really high compared to the other numbers.
Yeah, and because that outlier, this data right here, that mean data got skewed because of the 50.
Yeah.
So even though all of the other numbers, so it says that my average is 13, but how many of those numbers are above 13?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, only one.
Only one.
Right? Do you see how that 50 made that number like different than it should have been? So that 50, that outlier, it really skewed, that's a hard word to say, you guys, skewed the mean. It made it look different than it should have for that set of data. So the actual best measure of central tendency here would be the median, because isn't the number 9, doesn't it fit most of the data information?
Yeah.
Where the number 13 didn't fit most of the data. So on this, I would say the best measure of central tendency here is the median, because it kind of tells you the data. Why is 7 not the best? Because 7 is the lowest number, right? Even though it occurred the most, it wasn't a really good representation of all of the data. All right, the last one here says, which measure of central tendency should you use if you're using the data from the table? So again, what are we looking for here? We're looking to see if there's an outlier. If there's an outlier, then we would not want to use the average, which is called the mean. We would want to use the median instead. Neither of these are going to be the mode, because the mode is usually used when we're not using numbers. Okay, so looking at this right here, are you seeing any outliers?
10.
So we start with 10, and then, we don't have another number close to that until you're up to 40. I might call 10 an outlier. So we would definitely want to use the median here. Okay, look at that next set of data. So you're from lowest is 2.9, highest
And your highest is 6.
Yeah, that's pretty smashed together with there, right? So I think we're good here to use the mean. And then on that last set of data there, what do you think? You start at the low of 36
and go to 60.
And go to 60.
I'd use mean.
I would also use mean on that. I think if you could justify a number being an outlier, then you would be all right saying that was median. Because 36 in theory right here
is
lower. Yeah.
But there's numbers that work their way up to it.
You're right. So you could maybe say that 36 was a little bit out of an outlier. But usually outliers are like way far out of the group, not just a little bit out of the group. So if you thought on that one median, I think you could justify that. All right, you guys, that's today's note-taking guide, and your assignment is going to be very similar to that. Good luck with your assignment, and thanks for watching your video notes.